Joining us now for all the latest details is risk and behavioral scientist Dr. Shraddha Chakraborty. Doctor, thanks for being with us. Now, we're waiting for this cruise ship to dock in California with more than 21 passengers infected. What's that quarantine process going to look like?
Right, and remember, this isn't going to necessarily be a smooth or easy process, not because the U.S. isn't equipped to deal with this, but rather because the commercial port in which they're docking is made for container ships. It's not designed for passengers embarking or disembarking. And so it's going to take some time to remove the passengers from the ship, giving priority to those who are exhibiting symptoms, who need to be hospitalized right away, and then prioritizing who after that should be moved into which facilities. And it's not in California, it's all around the United States and these military bases that have been set up and prepared to take in those who are returning and have been tested positive or have been around those who have been tested positive for coronavirus. Already, Canada is sending in a chartered flight to take out 200 of the Canadian nationals that were also on that ship, and other countries around the world that have those passengers that are citizens of those countries also need to be removed systematically. So this is going to be a process that isn't necessarily going to happen immediately. So because we're giving enough time to other countries and to ourselves, we should be able to see this process happen in a way that does not result in any additional security issues or infection issues for the rest of citizens from the U.S. and those other countries around the world.
Doctor, let's think about moving forward, because the State Department recommended against all cruise ship travel. Do you think that was a necessary step?
And you're also hearing how cruise ships are saying they're giving discounted rates and different perks to those who don't cancel their vacations. All of these measures are containment, as in we know that this virus is spread through respiratory droplets. It's highly transmissible. That being said, it is really an overreaction to completely change your way of life. And beyond that, that is the recommendation of the CDC. So the CDC and other organizations will say not to go to large gatherings for specific people, not for everyone. There's absolutely no need, if you are a healthy individual, to completely, especially if you are coming from a country and a state, especially that is not showing sustained community transmission, to uproot and completely change what decisions you would normally be making. That's going to impact the society and the economy much worse than it is going to affect overall health impacts. And so what we're seeing in Italy, in this incredible, unprecedented shutdown that's infecting 1 in 4 Italians, the overall ripple effects we're going to have to look back on and see, was it really worth it? And was it really going to deter the course of this virus? It's slowing everything down, which is important. We need time to get ahead of it. But ultimately, is it going to have been beneficial for the society, for the economics of the society, and for people's overall health? I don't believe so. If we look at past outbreaks, it doesn't look like these measures do anything except slow things down a bit.
Well, at the same time, we're seeing that more than 60,000 people worldwide have recovered from the virus after being infected. So what does that recovery process look like? And of course, let's discuss the likelihood of a successful recovery as well.
So the likelihood of those recovering that are healthy is extremely high. It's much higher than any fatalities associated with this virus. And ultimately, as the testing continues, and now we're seeing diagnostic testing in the United States as a state level, which is good because it means we can test the population faster and have diagnostics done sooner. If we left it at that federal testing facility with the CDC in Atlanta, we wouldn't get the numbers accurately and as quickly as we are now at the state level. And that's really going to be critical for increasing that denominator. What I mean by that is the more amount of people that we test that show that they are positive with coronavirus, that do end up becoming completely recovering, will reduce the mortality rate. That's what we have seen across outbreaks in history, and that's likely what we're going to see with this coronavirus outbreak. So it's important to get tested because we as a health community need to understand what the range of symptoms are, went from mild to severe, exactly who it impacts, and what that recovery looks like, because information is power for us, and it'll be important for being able to understand and treat this virus going forward. This is not a virus necessarily that's going to disappear completely, so we need to understand how to deal with it proactively and how to help those who are most at risk in the future. Ultimately, the mortality rate will come down as we increase testing and identifying those who have the virus and are recovering quickly. or recovering fully.
Yeah, and thank you for that very helpful and reassuring information.
Yeah, very reassuring.
Dr. Shraddha Chakraborty, risk and behavioral scientist. Thanks for joining us.